Hello and welcome back to FrogClan. We are picking up right where we are leaving off, heading into the time where we're going to be determining what our second event is, and we'll probably be leaving off right on time for the next event. So next episode we'll be picking up with that extinction event. Again, I'm really nervous because a lot of our cats here in the clan are normal, and normal cats just don't really stand a chance in these extinction events. So fingers crossed we get a really good influx of cats this episode. But we'll see. We're starting off with an event skip. Brightpaw has waited a long time for this day. Heart pounding, they listen intently as Slow to Shade names them Bright Torrent after their courage. Lotus Shade has recovered from birthing their litter. Wisteria Berry Spring is feeling much better. Oatleaf has recovered their dislocated joint. Bright Torrent has gotten a running nose, and Fernkit no longer has yellow cough. Notice as soon as Slow to Shade is better, everyone else is better. Ooh, Goldpaw is caught outside of the clan's territory. I honestly couldn't even say I would blame Goldpaw if Goldpaw wanted to leave our clan, considering, you know, probably the grim atmosphere that hangs over the entire clan. So let's see Bright Torrent. Well, Bright Torrent is still bloodthirsty, so we have a bloodthirsty medicine cat. And with that though, we can officially set Driftburn back to being an elder. Sawstar is worried others are judging them. Wisteria Berry wants to get to know Sorrel Feather better. Lotus Shade is trying some herbs. Bright Torrent is eavesdropping an Oatleaf. Brookfruit thinks Brightpaw would make a good medicine cat. Guess we'll just like start randomly mediating cats. I'm not really sure who would make a good pair, so to speak, so it'll leave us worry about Acorn Kit. Probably with the event coming up. Specklefleck is in awe of Sawstar's leadership, though. Charpaw practices their highest jump, and Goldpaw has been training very hard recently. Driftburn is back in her retirement den. Time Kit is trying to stop their paws from shaking awe. Big Kit wishes other cats would stop babying them. Acorn Kit's feeling a little shaky. Conifer Kit's rolling around, and Fern Kit is stuck in a tree again. But luckily, he's feeling better. I always feel like really bad being like, yeah, the kids are feeling better, we're all doing good, and then realizing like what's about to happen makes me sad. Low Shade heads out to collect leaves, but they don't really see any trees they feel comfortable climbing in their old age, and is forced to give up on the idea of oak leaves gathering for today. With Newleaf bringing ragwort back on a medicinal menu, Bright Torrent heads out to find where the silly plants have decided to sprout this year. Ragwort brings strength to cats who need it and eases aching joints, but StarClan, it tastes absolutely foul. Bright Torrent's pleased with their harvest, but really wishes they had a way to bring it back to camp that they didn't need to carry it in their mouth. Oh, and another good note to mention, we are past 48 moons now, so all cats' patrols have been reset. They get as many passes for the patrol leader as traits the patrol leader has. As the sun creeps over the horizon, we stop at a familiar beach. On the cliff top below them, the familiar sand is hidden under massive boulders as long as 20 cats and as wide as 10. As the rocks wake and reveal themselves to be the most massive animals Sharpaw and Goldpaw have ever seen, Oatleaf reassures them. They may never have seen these frightening seals before, but FrogClan has. Oatleaf spends the morning quizzing the apprentices until each is able to identify a male nosy seal with his trunk versus the comparatively smaller females. Nosy seal. So that would be an elephant seal, I imagine, then? I have no idea what they're doing where we are, but very interesting nonetheless. Patrol comes across a turtle, but we don't catch it. Fernkit woke up with a mild headache, but got up and played with their littermates anyway, trying to ignore the nagging pain. I always feel like bad when there's just the one kit that's just always sick in their kithood. Everyone else is just fine. So our hunting patrol spots an eagle on wing overhead and watches as it swoops to dig its talons through the spine of an impressively huge fish. But then it doesn't take its catch into the air. Perhaps it's too heavy. While we do have the pass, I think I want to save that for later on, especially since we have so few of them. With this particular patrol, I'm pretty confident that we'll be not grievously injured. Famous last words, let's see. The patrol decides to fight the eagle in water for possession of the prey, but while its talons are occupied holding on to prey, its beak is not. Takes a chunk out of Specklefleck before the cats retreat, but Specklefleck only got scrapes, so... As I said, not grievously injured anyway. Our patrols haven't really been very exciting, so if I'm showing fewer, then that's why. All of our board patrols have just been us talking to other clans, and hunting patrols have really just been us missing, so... Nothing very exciting there, but we should be getting a pretty good influx of apprentices soon. Bright Torrent's running nose has finally stopped running. Specklefleck's scrapes are better. Fernkit feels relieved the lack of pain in their head, as their headache seems to have gone away. We know some Tansy's gone bad and will have to be replaced. Even though they are excited to be finally made an apprentice, it takes a bit of coaxing by Lotushade for Timekit to set forward for their ceremony. Lotushade watches them pride as they're named Timepaw and touch noses with Sawstar, who is definitely not showing preference to their own kit, I'm sure. I wonder how well kept of a secret it is. Sounds like it's meant to be more of a secret than anything. So, Timepaw is confident. Timepaw is really a great mixture of his parents. He's got his dad's pelt, just a little bit darker really, and his mom's size, so it also begs the question just how good of a secret that can be when the clan is kind of faced with the obvious there. Sawstar is dreading the clan meeting that they must call later today. Wisiraberry is lecturing Goldpaw on the warrior code. Lotushade is chasing the kits out of her den. But Bright Torrent is eavesdropping on the kits in the den. Brookfruit is wondering if StarClan has given the medicine cats any prophecies lately. Having lived through the first extinction event, I'm sure he is just waiting to hear what happens. I've had a lot of heather patches, just little statuses. It just smells sweet like lavender. Like, it just, heather patch smells like lavender. That's all there is to it. Acorn Kid is scared of Charpaw. Aw. I totally think Sawstar would take Timepaw out by himself. As like, I don't know, like a Mufasa and Simba moment, so they decide to practice some fighting techniques, probably just to prepare Timepaw. And no one sets up to teach. Good going, Sawstar. Great leadership. So Bright Torrent goes out to look for some purple flowers, Betony. But hang on, has Bright Torrent identified the Betony correctly? They're not sure and not willing to risk it. Better to be safe than sorry. I really wonder if having the Bloodthirsty trait just makes Bright Torrent not as able to identify plants as other medicine cats could. Just because this has been kind of a recurring trend that I haven't really noticed with other traits of medicine cats. It would just be interesting if, like, the Bloodthirsty trait comes in accidentally killing clanmates with the wrong herbs instead of, like, I'm gonna get to you like other Bloodthirsty cats. Oh, our patrol finds a kitty pet who's interested in joining the clan. We banter, making them feel more welcome. And we don't have to do much convincing. The kitty pet seems happy to join. Egret Dapple has joined the clan and our reputation towards outsiders continues to improve. Let's see. Egret Dapple is a loving, great hunter female, hazel eyes and a rosette pelt. It looks like she has a little bit of almost pink in her dapples too, which is interesting. It has a white bell collar. So I'm going to roll here and see if Egret Dapple comes with any strange traits. I'm retiring this dice formally because it's only rolled ones. She's a normal cat. This was a very eventful moon. I'm going to go ahead and start off in the health here because it's the easiest place to start. Oatleaf has gotten heat exhaustion, and we notice that Juniper has gone bad in our medicine stores. Sorrel Feather sits in the crowd, chest puffed out in pride as they watch Charpaw be named Char Current, a great name, honored for their intrigue. They consider themselves lucky to be able to train such an amazing young cat and look forward to seeing the warrior they become. Oatleaf gives Gold Paw a friendly nudge when the leader calls the young cat's name. They watch with pride as Gold Paw steps forward to receive their new name, Gold Mouse, in our honor for their observance. Even though they are excited to finally be made an apprentice, it takes a bit of coaxing by Deerfade for Big Kit to step forward for their ceremony. Deerfade watches in pride as they're named Big Paw and touch noses with Snip Husk. Acorn Paw has reached the age of 6 moons and has been made an apprentice with Gold Mouse as their mentor. Conifer Paw has reached the age of 6 moons and been made an apprentice with Sorrel Feather. And Fern Paw has just been made an apprentice, no one knows to who. Now for the big thing. Driftburn was found dead near the Raccoon Clan border. It just doesn't feel real. Sawstar stares at Driftburn's body blankly, waiting for this horrible nightmare to end. Sawstar goes over the best of the moments they share with Driftburn in their mind, again and again, like wearing a rut into the ground, until they're sure that they will remember Driftburn forever. Driftburn has taken their place in StarClan. FrogClan mourns their loss, and the clanmates will miss the spot that Driftburn had in their lives. And then Driftburn is found dead near Raccoon Clan border. It's always really suspicious when you have cats that are bloodthirsty and vengeful in your clan, and the cat just turns up mysteriously dead near another clan's border, especially since we don't really have a whole lot of quarrel with any other clans right now. So I'm actually gonna go through and see if any particular cats, not to name anyone in particular, didn't like Driftburn. So I'd say Specklefleck had the most dislike for Driftburn, but like it's not a lot of dislike. As a fierce cat though, she's honestly the biggest suspect right now. Let's see these new warriors and apprentices. So Charcurrent disappeared the whole day to explore the territory. He's adventurous and an excellent speaker. Goldmouse is worried about Big Kit and is wise and a good teacher. And then Big Paw is bold, winking cheekily at another apprentice. Acorn Paw is lonesome and manages to perform a difficult task alone. Conifer Paw is faithful and is making notes about Time Paw, assuring he's an apprentice. And Fern Paw is asking Egret Dapple questions about warrior life. Sawstar is feeling blessed by StarClan this moon. Wisteria Berry is missing Drizzlestar. Aw. Lotus Shade is feeling stressed taking care of the clan. I can't say that's surprising, especially as she's really getting up there in age. Honestly, a lot of cats are kind of feeling down right now. I wonder if something just kind of made them remember Drizzlestar, since specifically Wisteria Berry had made a comment on it. Lotus Shade manages to bring back Catmint to the group. As the patrol gathers together to train under Sawstar's leadership, Big Paw admits they think they had a vision from StarClan last night. Sawstar is very concerned since it's about time for us to be getting our clue as to what's coming, but no one can make sense of the vision. Her patrol has a disagreement and Heather Patch is the one to settle the dispute, but she setters, thinking she's not fit to lead this patrol. We catch scent of a fox. Tracking it, we find a Saki gray fox feeding on unidentifiable but deliciously sinky mound of carrion the sea is washed up on shore. We launch into battle, but with so few casts it's exhausting trying to keep the fox in snapping jaws on a defensive. In an act of daring bravery, Sorrel Feather darts slow to the ground, gets under the jaws, and sinks her teeth into the fox's throat. It's only one bite, but the fox has had enough and flees. As the patrol is marking the border lines, a gang of rogues stalks out of the beach grass to confront the clan cats. Proceed. Char Current takes the lead, confronting the gang with confidence. Eventually, the rogues admit that they've been struggling to find enough prey and were looking to steal richer territory from the clan. Tensions are eased when Char Current informs the rogues of prey-rich forest outside of FrogClan territory. All is well that ends well. So really just some health scares right now. Heather Patch has a stomachache. Darefade stepped on some sharp stones while walking along the shoreline. Lowshade squeezes a damp moss onto Oatleaf's forehead as they lie completely drained and panting. This is more than heat exhaustion. Oatleaf has gotten heat stroke. The day is so nice out today that Brighthorn decided to sneak out of camp and go play in the flowers without anyone noticing, but they come back with a swollen paw having stepped on a bee. And Fernpaw fell to the same fate, and we notice that all of our elder leaves have gone bad. So it's getting down to nitty-gritty here. Brighthorn ignores the low herb socks, instead practicing battle moves. So Specklefleck doesn't understand why the other warriors are hesitant to train with them. From here on out, we're gonna be predominantly doing border patrols, I think. Lowshade has finally put enough time aside to go search for time. Thankfully, they don't have to go far and gather it. While on patrol, Timepaw notices some suspicious paw prints in the wet sand. But it turns out to be Timepaw's own paw prints. They help with embarrassment. Goldmouse notices dark clouds on the horizon and wonders if they should continue. Unfortunately, every single cat here is normal. They have to go. And luckily, the promised rain never comes. We spy a fat rabbit on the other side of the Worm Clan border. It's a tempting opportunity, but it may not be wise. We have to continue. And we easily kill the rabbit before glancing up and being face to face with Worm Clan cat. Sorrel Feathers promptly chase back over the border and the other cat glares, hissing and spitting until we leave. Our relationships have worsened, but no one's gotten hurt. Egret Apple finds a loner who offers their healing skills in exchange for shelter. This is an interesting predicament. If this is a cat that does not have any gifts and they decide to join, then we'd have to switch him over to warrior. And if this is a cat that has some kind of skill, we could potentially look into switching over Brighthorn to being a warrior, which is obviously something that she would enjoy anyway. Or with her venomous teeth, be something she may be better at. So let's go ahead and see. Roach has joined the clan. Relationships increase. So Roach is confident and a fantastic healer. And luckily for us, has a scar. Which means that she's definitely going to have at least one additional trait from whatever she gets at base here. So it looks like she's only going to have an additional mutation because of the scar in her neck. So I'm going to say it's going to be a head trait because that's where the scar is. Let's see which of these it is, though. So Roach has a narrow head, which is an acquired trait. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter. I do think I'm going to change her name. I'm just going to randomize that. That's a really pretty name, though. Nice. So, With Fog Embers edition, I do think we'll just switch Brighthorn over to Warrior. She's obviously not thriving as a medicine cat. We've at least got a chance with 2. So I think that's just the safest thing to do, in all honesty. And the other good thing about this too, though, is that if we ever did need a medicine cat in the future, Brighthorn obviously does have that training and would be a good substitute. But Brighthorn probably wouldn't like being the substitute. So once again, it's just a lot of health things. So Heather Patch's stomachache goes away, Deer Fade's pads have healed, Olive is no longer suffering from heat stroke, but has gotten fleas. Sorrel Feather has a dislocated leg, and Time Paw has gotten fleas as well. So there could just be a little bit of an outbreak going on here. Just actually reading through this in a bit more detail here. Okay. A little bit of stuff going on, but nothing really crazy. Sawstar is formally into Elder Years, though. So we're officially 6 moons out from our event here. I'm gonna see who's gonna come and deliver the message to the clan. Oh well, I guess there's that. Carnation Tusk sends an omen of things to come to Sawstar. So I think it'll be Carnation Tusk, just going through all the other cats that comes to Sawstar, who is not really focused on the message, but Liz Shade also doesn't really seem to be taking very good messages right now either. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna roll and see what message it is that's being brought to Sawstar. So Carnation Tuft comes to Sawstar in a dream. Carnation Tuft tells Sawstar, no, I think we'll do this differently. Sawstar seems to wake to a world that is completely covered in the ocean's water. He tries to swim for the surface, but every time that he manages to come above the water for air, he only manages to breathe in salt and surf, looking around desperately for any sign of land, only to find that there is none. As he finds himself drifting underwater, unable to keep himself above the surface of the water, trying to breathe air, he slowly loses sense of his feelings, and everything fades to black as the water enters his mouth. When he comes to, he finds Carnation Tusk standing before him, covered in stars and the frost of the sky. Carnation Tuft looks at Sawstar sadly and says, "This will be your next trial. The ocean will rise unexpectedly, and if you are not careful, you and all that you know will be washed away with it." And Carnation Tuft disappears. Sawstar, panicking, goes over to Lotus Shade, asking if she knows anything about this. Lotus Shade only looks at him sadly and says that she had the same omen. It was probably Jumpstar that came to visit her, though. Yeah, River? Yeah? Yeah. So, unfortunately, with that grim understanding, these cats know that water, the same water that they live nearby and gives them life, is going to be their next possible... is going to be their next trial. Sawstar debates uprooting the entire clan to go and live up on the cliffside, and he very well may end up doing just that in an attempt to keep the clan safe as best as they can from anything to come. Lotus Shade cannot offer any advice to him outside of trying to help the cat swim and learn to swim better. It's their only piece of advice. Given the nature of her vision, Lotus Shade already does not feel very confident that she'll make it through this event. She's old, and swimming in the ocean is something only for cats in their prime. And with that, we're going to move on and see what we're going to be faced with up till then. Bright Torrent is wondering how they would run the clan better. Cold Mouse feels completely at peace. Timepaw is sure that they'll be made into a warrior soon. Think you got a little ways to go there, Timepaw. Okay, here we go. Patrol time. Marigold. It stops infection, bleeding, and sore joints. That last one in particular is probably going to be pretty relevant as Lotus Shade's thought process. Why would any medicine cat ever want to risk running out of it? She brings back as much as she can. Yellow leaves poke out of leaf litter as dandelions haven't given up growing for the season. Truly, dandelions are essential, and Fog Ember brings them back. We meet FrogClan at the border, and we call out a greeting to them, remarking on a battle between FrogClan and one of the other clans. Fernpaw compliments the FrogClan cast on their battle prowess. Wisteria Berry sees dark clouds on the horizon and wonders if they should continue. I do think we're going to use our pass here, especially with the omen of the flood so close. And we decide to head back early. That is Wisteria Berry's one and only pass. So Acorn Paw knows of some paw prints, which actually lead to a trespassing road. We set ourselves up in the grass on the sand dunes and set up an ambush, sending the rogue fleeing off FrogClan territory. Saucer tells himself that he cannot let these feelings consume him. Instead, he's going to have to learn to live with it. Meaning, he's moving on from Driftburn. Wisteria Berry has gotten White Cough. Bright Torrent's bee sting has healed well, you can't even tell it's happened. Same with Fernpaws. Fortunately, it would have been nicer if they gotten a scar. Messing Cat Apprentice from FrogClan comes to ask us for our cat mint. They don't say why they need it, but we give it to them anyway. And Timepaw has realized that Tom doesn't describe how they feel anymore. So, especially if they actually were in a poly relationship, I think I'll go ahead and just pair Saucer with Lotus Shade directly. I don't think they would wait around, seeing as there's danger right on the horizon. They don't really have a very compatible nature, but if it's what they want, it's what they want. So Timepaw now identifies as non-binary. Good for them. Saucer is looking forward to today. Lotus Shade is thinking about taking on a new apprentice. Yeah. Fog Ember is wondering about how Saucer is doing. Brookfruit wants to break up a sickeningly lovey-dovey couple. We only have one couple, so thanks, Brookfruit. Egret Apple takes the clanmate out to a beautiful spot in the territory, just for fun. Do you have anyone you like? You do not. Oatleaf is in awe of Saucer's leadership. Wildcats are wondering how Goldmouse and Saucer are doing. So, I just wonder if there's something going on. If they're starting to realize that there's something going on with Saucer, that he knows a secret of some kind, especially since I think Saucer is making some, you know, generic pushes. Hey, maybe you should bring those objects up to the top of the cliff instead of to camp. For no obvious reason. Lotus Shade gathers elder leaves, using her prehensile tail to do so. We notice some paw prints on the sand, and boldly Time Paw follows them to trespassing rogue, confronting them. Fur puffed up and scowling, the patrol demands a rogue leave FrogClan territory. Intimidated by confidence in the number of cats, rogue gives in, leaves without a fight. We notice that WormClan sent us straight into the territory. After poking around a bit, we notice that it's an apprentice that has been lost, hopelessly wandering around nearby. We still lecture them on the importance of respecting border lines, but relationships have improved. We find a loner who's interested in joining the clan. We banter with them a bit, making them feel more welcome. The loner has a pleasant chat, but ultimately decides not to join. We've met Lewis, though, who is very pretty. I do think I'll roll for her, just because in case she shows up later, we'll just have that ready. And naturally, she has the most gifts out of anybody. So Lewis here has 3 traits. One of them is negative, with an uneven head, but she has cute eyes and huge paws. So she's wondering about the clan cast that she just met. She'd still be a very welcome addition to the clan if she ever decided she wanted to come back. We stumble across a large dog wandering in the middle of the territory. We try to keep watch on a dog from a distance, but it spots us and we have to scatter. It's not as bad as it could have been. Specklefleck manages to keep track of the dog's position and it doesn't come any deeper into the territory. So once again, just a lot of health scares here. Oatleaf is free of fleas. Specklefleck has gotten white cough and also fought a rogue and got hurt. Sorrel Feather has recovered from a dislocated joint. Time Paw is free of fleas, and Egret Dapple has gotten a running nose. So we are definitely getting there. I'm really hoping that Specklefleck heals soon and gets a scar from it. Because if we get a scar, that's a random mutation. I'll just heal up some of the problems we made last time. Sniphusk is feeling unappreciated. Fernpaw is asking Egret Dapple questions about warrior life. Fernpaw has a lot of curiosity about warrior life, it seems. We don't really have a lot of other things happening, I don't think, that are very important. I just want to say if we do have any cats having kids, it needs to happen next time skip if we even wanted a chance at seeing what those kids look like. All our medicine cats were out gathering herbs or tending to herbs, so I definitely think they're preparing for this event. And we managed to gather juniper. Fog Ember takes the opportunity to go harvest some betony plants, and we managed to do so while enjoying the last of the sun's warmth. There are dark clouds on the horizon. We wonder if we should continue. Again, this close and this prompt, we're not going. Aw, Gold Mouse finds an abandoned kit whose parents are nowhere to be found. We rush the kit back to camp, who is nursed back to health and promised a place in the clan. Let's see this new kit. Privet Kit. A young, daring female who's actually very close to being an apprentice. Let's see if she comes with anything. I really like rolling ones, I guess, so she is a normal cat. Very unfortunate. We hear the screaming of a cat begging for their 2 legs to come back and the sounds of the monster screaming away. But once again, we arrive too late and only find the kitty pet's body. We follow a scent to a WormClan cat taking refuge up a tree. The cat yells a warning and the patrol scatters when they hear the cry. Just in time too, as Large Dog jumps at the patrol, catching Oatleaf but thankfully only injuring them before Oatleaf tears himself free and sprints away. And our relationships with WormClan have worsened. So, Wisteria Barrier no longer has a white cough. Deerfade misstepped and slipped from a rock, spraining their paw. Specklefleck has recovered from white cough. Timetail slipped on some rocks and their leg was dislocated. Big Paw went out of camp alone to practice swimming in the ocean. Unfortunately, their inexperience led to them being swept up by a riptide. Brightorn heard their cries and saved them, but Big Paw almost drowned. Egret Apple's running nose is gone, and FrogClan Medicine Cat comes asking if our clan has any time to spare. However, we only have enough for ourselves and we refuse to do so. Sawstar rests their muzzle on Timetail's head, declaring them to be a full-wearer FrogClan, honoring their dauntlessness. Tail is definitely appropriate since Time has a prehensile tail. Privikit sits in front of the clan with pride, their tiny heart beating so fast they think it might explode. They are very excitedly touched noses with char current, happy to start their apprenticeship. So, since Big Paw went out into the ocean, I'm wondering if they overheard somebody talking about a possible flood, and the cat seeming to be able to swim and being prepared in that similar notion. Unfortunately for Big Paw, it kind of backfired, and they got hurt doing that. Sawstars find their responsibility of leadership to be quite the heavy burden, especially right now, I'm sure. Timetail is injured with a dislocated joint, but has turned out to be a bold, great hunter. Once again, Lotus Shade is thinking about the next generation. Fog Emperor is checking up on the others. Just since Lotus Shade has such high experience, our medicine cats can currently care for a clan of up to 47 members, including themselves. We have plenty of herbs. Sorrel Feather is worried others are judging them. Sniphusk wants to get to know Big Paw better. Brightorn to see is dropping on Specklefleck. Big Paw is looking to challenge a warrior to a sparring match, but is injured, with water in their lungs. Privet Paw turned out to be adventurous, and is happy that they're going to train with Fern Paw. Oh no. So Lotus Shade was edging out onto a skinny branch to try and get some juniper leaves, but they slip on the frosted wood. They hastily go to try and get a grip with their tail, but the tree branch snaps and they plummet off the tree, hitting the ground hard and getting a broken back. Lotus Shade, no. She was trying so hard to take care of her clan. I'm so sad for Lotus Shade. That's like the worst thing that could have happened too. We acknowledge Worm Clan and our relationships with them improve a little bit. Same with Odd Clan. We sent a large dog wandering along the edge of the clan's territory. We bravely try to lead the dog away, but with so few cats, it's impossible to properly cover one another. Brightorn gets caught while running, and it's all the rest of the patrol can do to distract the dog long enough to get to safety. Heatherpatch was helping reinforce the camp walls when they got a thorn stuck in their paw. Specklefleck's cat bite has healed, but they'll always carry evidence of the incident on their pelt. Specklefleck has gotten white cough, of course, and Fog Emperor always seems to have petals stuck in their fur. So with that though, because we did get a scar of some kind, that cat bite left a different kind of effect on Specklefleck. Exactly what kind of effect? We're gonna have to go see here in a second. Definitely a lot of clan effects here. Let's see. There's Specklefleck. I can't see where the scar is, so I'm just gonna go ahead. We'll just do a full-on blind roll here. Okay, so very fittingly, I think, Specklefleck ends up with a tattered ear trait. I'm not sure where the actual scar is, but we're gonna go with that. Cool. So at least we have another cat with another trait. don't know if that'll be helpful for this upcoming effect, but maybe it will be. As if Big Paw didn't have enough to worry about, she fell into the creek and is still feeling damp. Wisteria Berry accidentally assigns the same cat to 3 patrols. Lotus Shade, despite her grievous injury, is checking up on the warriors still. Fog Ember has petals always stuck in her fur and is currently sharpening her claws. Egret Apple is taking another claymate out to beautiful spot in the territory just for fun. Praetorian Disease dropping on Specklefleck, probably just wondering about the new effects and abilities she has. And Specklefleck wants to be chosen as the new deputy now. So these cats have grown up a bit here. Acorn Paw is acting angsty. Conifer Paw, who's a very pretty cat, is feeling underappreciated. And Fern Paw is practicing battle moves, claws out. Privet Paw is just looking to get as many fighting techniques as they can. In the Leaf Bear Snow, chances of finding any usable daisies seem slim. Fog Ember hesitates should they even try. Not only does Fog Ember end up soaked to the skin, but they can't find any daisies under the snow. A wasted and horribly chilly day. As our patrol is checking the border lines, we notice that an Odd Clan sent a straight into our territory. Odd Clan is an ally, but this is a bit suspicious. I don't think I've seen this artwork before. I think we'll just proceed though. We follow the scent of Odd Clan cat taking refuge up a tree. The cat yells a warning and we scatter when we hear the cry. Just in time as Large Dog jumps at the patrol, catching Privet Paw, but thankfully only injuring them before Privet Paw tears free and sprints away. And relationships worsen with Odd Clan. I don't know why that worsens relationships when we're just investigating something like that, but I don't know. Wisteria Berry finds a wounded cat near the Thunder Path. We approach injured cat and see signs of life. Alarmed, we gently bring the cat back to camp to be treated by the medicine cat Fog Ember. The grateful cat decides to join the clan. Lobsters join the clan, and relationships with outsiders improve. Where's Lobster? Here's Lobster. Lobster is a senior adult female, sneaky, and a great speaker. She is injured with a broken bone. Let's see if she has any traits. She does have a trait, wow. And it is on her head. She has a seal nose, okay. It's a pretty common trait for us at this point in time, but given the event that's coming up, I think that is going to be a very good one to have, because seal nose allows for expanded lungs, which means that the cats can swim and dive better. I also don't really dislike Lobster, but I think I'm gonna change this just a bit. Lobster shell is just too fitting, so we'll just stick with that. I think that's just cute. And since we are only one more patrol away from our thing, we're going to use Snip Husk's patrol pass, or at least one of them, since she has multiple. To not proceed here. We spy a fat rabbit on Wormclan's border. We can't not do it, so luckily relationships remain neutral. Gold Mouse grabs him by the scruff and pulls him back, just in time before a patrol comes along. And we're gonna time skip for the last line of this episode now. So Heather Patch's small cut has healed up nicely, as has Deerfade's sprain and Oatleaf's bite wound. Specklefleck is also recovered from White Cough. Timetail's dislocated joint is better, as his Privet Paw's torn pelt. I don't think from the sounds of it we got any new scars, but I'll definitely take a look here in a second. Sawstar hops up onto the meeting spot to find that Big Paw has set moss along it in preparation for the meeting, so that Sawstar can be more comfortable through the long ceremony. Purring, Sawstar gives the name Big Pelt for their wisdom. Okay. I just think that Pelt is such an underwhelming name, but it's okay. Sorrel Feather gives Conifer Paw a friendly nudge when the leader calls the young cat's name. They watch with pride as Conifer Paw steps forward to receive their new name, Conifer Dapple, and they are honored for their self-respect. And FrogClan welcomes Fernleap as a new warrior, honoring foresight. Poor Fernleap has just not gotten any, nice flavor text, really. Both for their apprentice ceremony and for their wearer ceremony. So I don't know if they just don't have those relationships or an interesting trait to make it interesting. But that seems to be where we're at. And Sawstar is satisfied that Conifer Paw is doing well in their training, and so they made them a warrior. Lotus Shade is still helping by drying some herbs. Fog Ember is so proud of their ability to care for their clanmates. I'm just mediating random cats at this point because I don't really want to push for mates and relationships right before this event. Dear Fate's still wondering about Big Paw. Bright Torrent is eavesdropping on Acorn Paw. Okay, so Specklefleck's wound was on their neck. Charcurrent is showing off a trinket they found while exploring. Goldmouse wants to spend time alone today. Timetail's looking forward to today. Big Pelt is eavesdropping on Privet Paw. Conifer Dapple, who is childish and a good speaker, is rethinking their life choices. Big Pelt turned out to be a thoughtful and fantastic teacher. And Fernleap is sneaky with the fantastic hunter trait, and he finds Privet Paw annoying. Acorn Paw is performing a difficult task on her own. Privet Paw is wondering how Lotus Shade is doing. Aww. There are dark clouds on the horizon. We wonder if we should continue. Goldmouse is going to continue. We don't have the option not to. There is a downpour, and a sudden flood from the overflowing river sweeps all the cats in the patrol away. Goldmouse yells out a warning, and most of the patrol is able to react quickly, striking out strongly for passing pieces of driftwood. Unfortunately, Charcurrent doesn't make it, sinking beneath the water and perishing. We hear the screaming of a cat begging for their two legs to come back and the sound of the monster speeding away. We find a well-groomed kitty pet collapsed by the thunderpath, wailing for their two legs to come back. Sorrel Feather comforts them and asks them why their two legs have left them. The only explanation that they can give is that they've been sick recently and perhaps too much of a burden. Sorrel Feather offers the former kitty pet a place in FrogClan, till they're better at least. They tentatively accept while looking longingly back towards where their two legs left them. And Worm has joined the clan. Where is Worm? Where is Worm? Here's Worm. Worm is playful and a good speaker. Let's see if Worm here has any traits. Worm does not. Worm does have red cough though. Ooh. I don't think we're gonna have the supplies we need to heal that. So Fog Ember goes out to try and get blackberry leaves, carefully edging out over a slippery, frozen rock, trying to get closer. They overcompensate, falling into a deep snowbank that they emerge from with deep shiver wrapping their body. They got frostbite. So we go out on patrol and encounter WormClan. Conifer Dapple bounds ahead to the other patrol, not bothering to greet them or exchange pleasantries before remarking on their smell. Offended, the other patrol stalks away, their tails whipping and ears pinned. Thank you, Conifer Dapple. That's really what we needed right now. So, Oatleaf and Heatherpatch are out when we notice suspicious paw prints. Following the trail, Oatleaf doesn't see the blow coming. They haul themselves to their feet, spitting with outrage, but the rogue that did it has already turned and run from the patrol. Oatleaf got a mangled leg. Ooh, that was not a good run, and both our medicine cats are unwell. Yikes. I think we'll go ahead and leave that off here then, though. Next episode, we'll pick up with Sawstar making the final announcements and preparations before we go into rolling for the event. And I'm not gonna lie to you all, there's gonna be a lot of cats that do not make it out of there. Even with the current system that I have in place, I just don't think it's possible for a lot of cats to make it. It's gonna be really rough for cats that could make it with their traits being sick or unwell or having a broken bone or back. Poor load of shame. So I'm gonna leave that off here, and I hope to see you all in the next episode where we find out what happens. It's gonna be a rough leaf bear. Till then though, stay safe yourself, stay happy, I'll see you then, and bye!